Hello everyone, Parallel here, and welcome to Star Trek Online. Well, it looks like the Terran Empire is up to their shenanigans again, because a new mirror invasion event has just started, and it'll be running through today, November 5th, all the way through to Thursday, November 26th. And this is basically a special event that goes on every now and then, and it has some nice little rewards and it's a very good way to farm marks. So I definitely recommend you take advantage of this event while it is going on. And it's actually been quite a while since this event has come around, and it really is coming back in a timely fashion, because this is, just after season 11. The whole theme of this season is the mirror mirror invasion. Basically, the Admiral Lita is back and trying to take over the Alpha Quadrant, and so this mirror invasion event is a perfect fit for season 11. But so I thought I would do a run of the event and show everyone, how it works, and and what some of the tactics are. Before I do that, however, I do want to jump in here to the Reputation tab and take a look at what the special reward is this time around. So, the way this event works is that each day you run this event, you will get a, what do they call it this time? Multi-dimensional transporter device. So you can get one of these per day. You can actually run the event as many times as you want per day, but you can only get one of these per day. And when you collect 14 of them, you can complete this project. And this project has a lot of nice goodies, and usually each time this event comes around, they have some kind of special weapon or, some special item that comes along with it. And this time it is, what is it? The Agony Field Rifle, I believe that is it. Yes. So you do get the Agony Field Rifle. You can't see the stats on it here. I believe the stats were posted on Reddit. It looks like a pretty interesting weapon. It has it's basically a normal energy weapon, but it has a chance to proc physical damage, which was kind of interesting. And the secondary fire is some kind of a hold. A phasing hold, basically, that will keep the target. It actually does damage to the target over time while they're being held. I think the only downside there is, I think when they're held, they actually are phased out, so they can't take damage from other sources. So could be a little bit trollish, but it certainly does look very nice. They did post a picture of it up on the website, and it is a nice looking weapon. So that is the reward that you get for completing 14 days worth of this event. You also get some other nice goodies, like a reward package for your marks, fleet marks, a nice chunk, I believe 50,000 dilithium. Looks like as a title, unlock mirror invasion complete, and some more event reputation. So there it is. I'm going to go ahead and slot this project. And there you go. So you just need to slot in those 14 multi-dimensional transporter devices. I believe these are the same item, so as long as you keep this project slotted, you might, even if you can't get the 14 items this time around, if you keep this project slotted, you may still be able to complete it the next time the mirror invasion comes around. So that is the reward this time around. Seems pretty interesting. And so why don't we jump into the queue itself, and I will run through the full event. And I have run this event many times, so hopefully I can provide a few tips and tricks here as I'm going through. I will say that this event is very much it is a DPS race. There are some tactics you can use to help out, but it is somewhat of a DPS race. And I believe there is a cutscene at the start, so I will be quiet.
Our forces have repelled a Terran scout force, but I believe a full-scale invasion from the Mirror Universe is imminent. We cannot allow them to take... The station's power systems were damaged in the initial assault. If you divert power from the secondary relays, we can channel it into our systems and bring defenses back online. Cruisers will complete this task more quickly. The more power you divert, the more quickly we can make our repairs. We are preparing an anti-tachyon pulse to close the rifts and send the ships back to their own universe. But it will take time to bring it online. During the invasion, you will need to protect the station from attack.
All right. Hopefully, I had a little OBS issue there for a second. Hopefully the sound didn't cut out. But just in case, I will try to explain things as I'm going here. So there's basically kind of three objectives in this first phase, and that is to activate these power substations. They say they shoot a little beam of energy into the station, and then what they do is they start charging up the station's defense level. And so you want to keep those going as much as you can. While that's going on, you also are going to want to close as many of these rifts as possible. There are rifts all over the place, and the mirror ships will be coming out of them. I'll go ahead and initiate this power transfer. And those rifts are kind of why this is somewhat of a DPS race. If you don't... ships continue to come out of these rifts at a pretty fast pace, and if you don't take them out quickly enough, it is very hard to get the rift down in time. And you will see if you're in a group that doesn't have a lot of DPS, you'll quickly find that you can get overwhelmed, honestly. The station will start getting swarmed like crazy with all kinds of mirror ships going in. So I'm just going to go around from rift to rift here and close as many as I can. The trick with the rifts is that while you're closing a rift, if you get hit by anything, I mean, if one stray fire at will from an enemy or anything scratches your hull, you are immediately interrupted. So that's kind of the trick there. Now, one thing that you can do if you don't have a lot of DPS but you still want to be really helpful in this fight is to follow someone around, and if they get aggro from the enemies near a rift, then you can go in and close the rift while they have aggro. And that's actually a really good thing to do. If you're like a new player, you don't have a lot of DPS, you can't take these ships out fast enough, then do that. Just make sure you go around and close as many rifts as you can while someone else has aggro. That's really a good way to do it, and it helps a lot, because if you can close that rift when someone else is holding the aggro, even if your DPS is low, you can still at least prevent, the station from getting overwhelmed. As you can see, another set of ships popped out there, and I was not able to close the rift in time. So we'll try again here. Now, just keeping an eye here on the defense level. Yeah, I better go over here and activate the power substation. So I typically focus mostly on rifts, but, keep an eye on, make sure your defense level is increasing, because you do want to get that up to rank 5. I believe that is one of the optionals here. Yeah, Starship Defenses, right now it's at rank 2 out of 5. And the more of these power relays you activate, the more... it looks like there are... Ooh, yeah, over here is getting overwhelmed. You can see all these ships. See if we can thin out the herd a little bit here. But yeah, the more of those power stations that you have feeding into the main station, the faster the defense level will charge up. Okay, the cruiser came out right when I was about to close it. Trying to keep an eye here on any other enemies within 10 kilometer. Doesn't look like it, so I should be able to get this closed. Something hit me. Shoot. See, one little frigate just barely scratches me at the end, and then you have to start all over again. And that very often means that you won't be able to close it in time before another set of ships comes out. Luckily there, I think they did get their attention to go back on the person. As you can see, that was doing a lot of damage there to me. I did notice that they have, yeah, warp core breaches will also interrupt you, but I did notice that they are including the new, oh shoot, I did not mean to hit that. They are including the new types of Terran ships in the event now. So there are the command cruisers, the science ships. So it is a little bit tougher, I think, than last time, because they didn't always have that. They used to have these frigates and everything, but yeah, they've added several new Terran ships as part of the Season 11 events going on, like the command cruisers and stuff. And yeah, that makes it a little bit more difficult, I think. See if I can close this rift while someone else has aggro. And then once you do close the rift, you can then help the other person out. It's generally much better to do that than to, you know, go in and get aggro, and then you'll also start getting hit, and then you won't be able to, you know, close the rift either. And then you both have to be there stuck taking out the ships before you can close the rift. Let's head over here to the power station. I want to make sure we get this optional. One thing they did explain in the initial cutscene is that your cruisers can actually activate the power stations a little bit faster, and science ships can close the rifts a little bit faster. It is, it's a noticeable difference. It's not a huge, I don't know, not a huge advantage, but if you are a science ship, you can fly around and close these rifts really quite fast, so you know, you can focus on that if you are a science ship. There we go, the Spinal Lance was activated, so we got our defense level to tier 5. That's good. This is a pretty good group, I have to say. We are keeping, other than that one moment, I don't think we've been too overwhelmed. I mean, I've seen much worse. If you can tell if the you know, if the station's getting overwhelmed, it really will have dozens and dozens of ships all around it, and it'll take heavy damage. That is another one of the optional objectives, is to not let the station take too much damage. You can see mark bonus, starbase health 10 of 10. Basically, for each 10% of health it loses, you lose one of these points. And if the station goes down to 0 hit points, you'll fail that optional. If it does go down to 0 hit points, it does have like a self-repair that it does. So it will come back online. It just takes a little while, and you will fail the optional. So that's pretty much it for Phase 1. Just close the rifts, activate the power stations, and make sure the station doesn't take too much damage, so you may have to occasionally go in and thin out the herd of ships attacking the station. You can see here we've actually closed 22 rifts, so we're actually doing really good. This is a good team.
3, 2,
and
1.
there's the station. Yeah, you see how it does that explosion, that plasma lance? That helps a lot. If the station is getting overwhelmed, it will actually like push all the Terran ships away. So it's really good for that. Although in this case, since we're doing so well keeping the rifts under control, the station's not under much threat right now. You can see this wave is timed. So we've got about 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Firing station plasma lance in 3, 2, 1.
You see that person went in and closed the rift while I was attacking, and that's a good way to do it. That's teamwork. Even if you're in a pug, you know, you can still go in there and help out. If you don't have aggro, you can still be the one to close the rifts. I don't see any... Oop, there's one. Yeah, multi-mission reconnaissance explorer. These guys are pretty nasty. If you've done the new battle zone in the Badlands, these science ships are very annoying. They love to use tractor repulsors on you and push you away, so they are very annoying. But so far, so good. So 30 seconds left on phase 1. Let's see how many we close. 25. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe 25 is the max. I don't think any more will spawn for the rest of the wave. So while we're waiting here, I can just quickly say for wave 2, there is another, it's in, you know, the phase 2 is, you will have to be closing rifts again, but this time there will be a dreadnought that comes. And okay,
firing anti-tachyon pulse. Defense relays are offline. It's working. The Terran ships are being forced back to their own universe. Massive energy spike detected. They're opening more rifts. Firing station plasma lance in 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, got the... Looks like a Galaxy X dreadnought. It is kind of random. There are a few different ones that it picks from.
The dreadnought is emerging from a rift at 4 o'clock.
I know the Odyssey also is one of them. So in this phase, you are going to want to take out the ships that, you know, the initial wave that comes out of the rift. You are going to want to take them out fast. And you have to go around and close all these rifts. Now, out of one of these rifts, the dreadnought came out from, and that will basically make its way towards the station.
Firing station plasma lance in 3, 2, 1.
And so the trick is that before you can engage that dreadnought, you have to go around and close all of these rifts. And you really do have to do that, because what happens is if you damage the dreadnought and
firing station plasma lance in 3, 2, 1.
Yes, thank you for the plasma lance. If you don't have all of the rifts closed, if you start damaging the dreadnought, it will actually warp to one of those open rifts. So before even bothering to do any damage to the dreadnought, you should definitely go around and close all the rifts, and they will tell you once.
The dreadnought is escaping through a rift. 2, 1.
See that? How it said this dreadnought was escaping in a rift? That means someone had damaged the dreadnought to that point, and then it warps out to any of the open rifts that are remaining, and it will keep doing that, unfortunately, until you take them all out. And it's funny, if this is the last rift, you see I can't close the rift because the ship hasn't come out yet.
The dreadnought is emerging from a rift at 4
and then it comes out, and then we can close the rift. Just kind of how that works. So, well, darn it. It makes it hard to close the rift now because he's now shooting at me. And if he does too much damage, he will again just go right back to the rift.
Rifts are closed.
There we go.
We have the dreadnought trapped.
And once the rifts are all closed, usually the dreadnought is pretty much a pushover with your whole team focus firing on him.
The dreadnought has been destroyed, and the area is free of transdimensional portals. Thank you. Without your help, Vothel Station would have been lost.
Vothel Station. So here we go. They do give you a little rundown of what you did. So we did rifts closed. We got 32 marks. Defense level, you get 10 marks for that. The starbase health, you get 10 for that. Defeating boss fleet within limit, 5 more marks. So 56 marks. Now, on top of that, you can get the daily bonus, and then you get your package here. So this is a very nice mission for farming marks of all types. And the nice thing is that you can actually keep rerunning this mission and get the daily bonus for every single, for every single reputation if you so desire. So yeah. Though, like I said, you only get the event. I don't have it yet, but you only get that event token, once per day. Even though you can run this multiple times for all the reputation marks. I'm of course going to take Terran marks because I might as well use it for that. And you can see there with a pretty good run, you get 111 Terran marks. That's actually quite good. Yep, and there you get your multi-dimensional transporter device because this is the first time I've run it on this character today. And that is that. Pretty successful run, and even in a group, if your station does get overwhelmed, you can still get a decent amount of marks, especially if you can get the daily. So, I mean, I recommend running this for any character, even if you're not decked out in great gear. I believe I'm not actually sure what level you have to be, but you might have to be at least level 50. But in any case, if you can run this event, definitely run it, even if your character is not the most powerful yet. I remember this event was one of the first events I did back when I became active in the game again last year. And it really helped jumpstart my characters and get them, all of their different reputation marks. So it's definitely a good thing to do. Alrighty, so that is it for the Mirror Invasion event. You have until November 26th to get 14 marks, or not marks, but 14 of these devices and finish your project. And yeah, and like I said, very well worth it. Definitely take the time, run it once a day. You can run it on all of your alts, and it's very much worth it. Well, that is it for now, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful and gave you some good tips for getting through the Mirror Invasion event. And yeah, I hope you're all enjoying Season 11. I will continue to be making videos. There's still a few pieces of Season 11 that I haven't covered yet, and you can look forward to those. I believe my next video will be for the new ground queue, the Assault on Terok Nor. They just, in this latest patch, they just increased the rewards from that queue, and that's very good. I'm glad that Cryptic responded to player feedback on that one, that it was kind of under rewarding. So now that they fixed the rewards, I want to give it a try myself and see how it is, and that will be the next video, so look forward to that. That's all for now, everyone. Thanks for watching.